Barbell deadlift is a great exercise. It's one of the best exercises for you to learn how to do. There's a couple of reasons for it. One, it is extremely sport specific, performance specific. Learning how to power movement with your hips is going to make you faster, jump higher, move better, just the whole 9 yards. Learn how to use the hips and strengthen the hips as opposed to just strengthening the quads. And it's also extremely important for everyone to learn how to do, because this is literally lifting with your legs and not your lower back. Once you know how to execute this exercise correctly and you understand the principles behind it, then you know how to pick things up and protect your lower back. There's a lot of strong guys out there that have hurt their back picking up something relatively light because they don't understand really how to power movement with their legs and not use their lower back, and how to apply those principles to everything that they do. So it's really important that you understand that what you learn with the deadlift is not just good deadlift form, it's also good form to pick everything up. So this exercise is perfectly safe if you follow these coaching cues and you do what I'm telling you to do. The deadlift has gotten a bad rap in some circles, which is unfortunate. Mainly it's just because people don't know how to coach it correctly or execute it correctly, or a combination of the two. So again, great exercise, perfectly safe if you do it right. You just need to know how to do it correctly and how to really emphasize the hips powering the movement and not using that lower back. So I'm going to show you a standard barbell deadlift. The most important thing with this is the setup. If you get set up correctly, you're going to, increase your chances of executing a good rep immensely. If you don't take a few seconds and get yourself set up correctly and you rush the setup, odds are you're going to have a crappy rep and you're going to increase your chance of getting hurt. So to get set up, what you're going to do is step up to the bar, find your hand spacing, which is put your thumbs on the edge of the knurling. This is the rough stuff on the bar. That'll give you good hand spacing. Step up to the bar. When you're looking down at your feet, you should see your foot, your forefoot on this side of the bar, and just your heel on the back side. If you step too far away back, you're going to have trouble pulling yourself down into a good position. And same thing if you step too far up, you're not going to have anywhere to come down to. So it might take you a few practice tries to find a good foot placement for you. But once you get that, you just pull yourself down, back straight, head up. You got your weight slightly back on your heels. Pull your shoulders back and down. When you do that, when you engage the upper back, you should almost feel, it should feel like you're pulling the bar into your shins. So the bar should be in contact with your shins before you stand up. So shoulders back and down, weight back on the heels, get everything tight, kind of tighten the glutes, tighten the abs, and then push the heels and squeeze your butt cheeks together. Keep squeezing as hard as you can, all the way to the top. And then to bring it down, lower it down, get to the knees, and kind of do a controlled fall. You're not going to want to try to recreate the same movement going down as you did coming up. Deadlift is a little different that way. So again, you don't want to just drop the bar. That's just bad form. But you can do a controlled fall, so to speak, once it gets past your knees to get it back down to the ground. So again, hand placement, got that set. Step up to the bar, pull yourself down, head up, back straight. Puff your chest out a little bit, pull your shoulders back and down, weight back on your heels, squeeze your glutes, push through your heels, stand it up, bring it down, lower it down. Now what you're going to want to do between every rep, just straighten your legs and reset yourself. Go through that checklist, pull yourself down, shoulders down and back, weight back on my heels, tighten everything up, pushing my heels, squeeze my glutes, stand up. So I'm going to show you from the side, so I want you to see my back position, which is really important. So again, a lot of people when they do this tend to keep their trunk too upright. So you don't want to come down into your bottom position and be like this. This is no good. You want those hips up a little higher. You want them probably slightly below your shoulders. You want your trunk at about a 45-degree angle with the ground. So, and then when you're coming up, what you're looking for is that everything, your hips and your shoulders, come up at the same rate until your hands hit your knees. Then you start pushing the hips through and you stand up. So again, if you're really used to this position here, you're going to want to find this. So even if you get this at the bottom, you're going to find that your first movement may be like that. That means you're initiating the move with your lower back, not with your hips. So very first move has to be squeeze those glutes, push through the heels, your hips and your shoulders are coming up at the same rate, and then you push the hips through. Last thing I want to show you, there's a difference between squeezing the glutes and pushing the hips through and leaning back. You don't want to lean back. So when you come up, you get to here, you start pushing those hips through, squeeze those glutes, lock it out. When someone's looking at you from the side, everything should be stacked on top of each other. What you don't want is to get to the top and lean back and crank into it. That's going to put a ton of pressure on your lower back, your sacroiliac joint. If any of you guys have sciatica or anything like that, you don't want to do that. So big difference between squeezing your glutes and pushing your hips through and just leaning back. So you got to really make sure that you're squeezing those glutes all the way through, all the way to the top, and make sure that you're initiating with the glutes at the bottom. So if you haven't guessed by now, the glutes, and the hips here are the key to this exercise. So again, keeping that back straight the whole time. I'll show you another rep just to demonstrate. Get yourself set. Pull yourself down. Shoulders back and down. Weight back on the heels. Tighten everything up. Push through those heels. Squeeze those glutes. Slide those hips so you can see here, everything stacked on top of each other. You don't want to do that. That's not what you're looking for. Squeeze those glutes. Everything just locks out. Bring it down under control. Straighten your legs out. And reset. Bring yourself down. Shoulders back and down. Weight back on the heels. Push through the heels. Squeeze the glutes. Lock it out. Bring it down. Execute for the prescribed number of reps. Remember, as with everything, the way that you create the movement, the recruitment pattern is much more important than the weight moved. Don't fall into the trap of thinking more weight's automatically going to mean better performance or better results for you, because it may actually mean a higher risk of injury. So make sure you're able to keep that core tight, shoulders back and down. You're finding this good position down here. It's a good athletic position for you to start from. You're squeezing the glutes, pushing through the heels, standing up. So that's how you execute a proper deadlift.